Anyway, so I just come home from a little swim. Still have problems with my back, and hopefully I can turn that around. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, so I'm trying to do a good amount of, at least, a little swimming to get started, and hopefully get on some roller skating, because roller skating seems to be one of the best things for the back, as far as I remember or experienced in the past. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure if I can. Hopefully, I can fix it. If I just, move a little and Anyway, so this is the women that we are making in our days now. Besides, the feminist, rebellious, whoring, murderous, man-hating, screaming, never satisfied women and all that. It's utterly, it's very, very sad to see how women are in these days, and no wonder why man pretty much gets fed up with it. But anyway, so this is one of the women on Facebook, for example, and I will never be a well-behaved woman, fixing two fingers, like, in regards of, couldn't have anything to do in regards of Satanism. And of course, rebellion is, feminism is pretty much Satanism. It is evil. It is evil to the very core. And it has murdered, just in Denmark, nearly 1 million innocent children. That really only reason that they were murdered was because their mother was a whore and, spread her legs before getting married. Anyway, because she thinks she's an animal, and we're teaching the children that they are animals in regards of evolution, bullshit and all that. A lot of things in our days are just so wrong, and it's not getting better, and it's just getting more rebellious, and sadly I don't think it will change. I sadly think it will go in the wrong direction, because society is just so, I will have to see if there can be done anything, but it is, but anyway, it's bullshit. You see all these things from women, and they are, listening to a woman, you don't even feel that you want to be a better man for her. And, so it's just, when you're listening to Christian, women, like the Amish women, like they had a program of Amish women talking to, Western women and all that. And it was like gold coming out of their mouth. And you felt like, you felt as a man, like, how could I be a better man for a woman like that? That's the feeling you got from it. You wanted to give more. You wanted to be a better man, for her. The exact opposite in regards of these rebellious Western feminists in our days doesn't really make you feel like that as a man. Actually, you just feel like, just jumping ship pretty much. And I think a lot of men ends up doing, going out and drinking instead, because they can't, it's just too much, they get fed up. And anyway, it's just insane, and these women in our days just believe they are princesses or goddesses, and you have to be kidding me, But anyway, they think they are the big prize, and that they are just the amazing thing, and so anyway, so that's it's a good difference when you look at the Amish girls, when they were talking to these Western girls. If a man had said that, he would have been, they would, all the feminists would have come, and it's pretty much as most of the women in our days would have come together to chop off his balls. It's incredible how disgusting it is. Now, of course, I'm not going to lay down just because, a feminist, but anyway, it's satanic. It's utterly, it's just so filthy. It's a river of blood that they have created. It's utterly disgusting. So a lot of things in our society is absolutely totally gone nutcase, and because we are grown up in it, we don't. It has been normalized, and it has just become the norm. So nobody sees how wicked and diabolical we actually have it in our society, and how it's actually going downwards very quickly. It's very sad. So, but this is the thing, Why would you, as a man, want a woman like that? That is, rebellious already. Showing her rebelliousness. And of course, we have the woman just planning to, let's see if we can find another word to pretty much. Well, I guess another word would be steal from the husband. Plan out that, hey, I'm going to marry this man, and after a while I'm just going to jump ship, and then the government will just take everything away from him, and yippee yay, which is utterly nonsense, but they have made an industry out of it. There's a documentary from the US, utterly diabolical and satanic and bullshit, and the women taking the children, and you can just see these women that they think they are entitled to decide if the man is allowed to see their children or not. But it's the children of the man, not the woman. So if she leaves out without the children. At least with if she doesn't have the she doesn't have the, what shall we say, the, what is it called? If the man have not consented to her taking the children, she will not take the children. That's the man's children. And you cannot just steal the children from the man and then take all his resources as well and totally ruin him, as they have made an industry. Just totally diabolical, and it destroys so many men. It's just incredible. So on so many levels, we have just totally changed how the design was, fixed, and thereby we get weak men, and we get men that are attacked from their homeland, and thereby they have a hard time defending their own country. And when they don't get food and they don't get support from their homeland in regards to the family, and actually it begins to rebel against them and go against them and not, and so forward, well, then you have a lot of problems, and Satan will rip everything open and just ruin everything. It's very sad. It's so diabolical, everything. It's just teaching our children that they're animals. Oh, give me a break. I'm just so tired of, It's interesting when you begin to go in the direction of truth, when you become a Christian, believe in Yeshua and all that. It's interesting to see how different people react to you, because you never know who is going to react very viciously against you. Is it viciously? I think it's viciously, the word, vivaciously, viciously against you. I'm sure I'm using those words if I'm getting the right words up. But you never know who is going to really become angry at you just because you're talking about Jesus Christ and the Bible and so forward, and begin to attack you on so many levels, and you never know, because it's just you never know who it is. It's just it could be the sweetest person, the person that you have known for all your life, and thought that was the sweetest person that you knew in your entire life. And there comes the monster out of the person, It's so you never know who how people react. So it's yeah, that's just how it is. So, and of course, oh yeah, I forgot. Feminists are usually also God-hating women, because they hate God in regards of, fixing the patriarchy, in regards of the man, ruling over the woman and all of that. They are in total rebellion. So usually, feminists are, whoring murderous, man-hating, God-hating, screaming bitches, pretty much. And I guess I shouldn't use, but the bitch is a woman that is I think that's the correct word for it. I have a video from where the screaming women came, and I think bitches would be the right word to actually use. Let's look it up. I'm not using it as a curse word. I'm just using it as to describe what these women are. Rebellious. I'm not sure if I should use that as a Christian, but that's pretty much what. Yeah, that's a pretty good word for these women, bitches. It is a woman that is. This is in Danish. Oh, how do I translate that to? But it's amoral and vulgar, and let's see if we can find it in English. I'm not sure why the Danish thing come up here, because maybe it's because we also use that word in Danish, but it's actually meaning of bitch. Let's look it up. No, that's not the way. Let's see. No. Like, that's not really. Don't we have a English? Oh yeah. 2 seconds, of course. Of course, I'll have it here. But I guess I should probably. I'm not sure if I should use that word as a believer. But that's this. What do is a rebellious women? An unpleasant difficulty. No. A person usually, but not necessarily a woman, who is totally disliked. She turned out to be a. No, we want to be. Disagreeable person, unpleasant person. Well, they're absolutely unpleasant there, that's for sure. Let's just look at the video that I have. It's just incredible. And dressed in red. That fit them in regards of all the blood that they have spilled. A complaint and act, no. Female of any, no. Where do we have there must be some better. In the Danish, that was pretty good, in regards of the word. Maybe they have a different understanding in English of this. I wouldn't think so. But let's see. Let's try this one. No. A lewd or immoral woman, a malicious, spiteful, or overbearing woman. I'm not sure in regards to overbearing. Sometimes used as a generous term of abuse. Something that is extreme. No. Yeah, I think number 2 might be something of I think that number 2 it probably is 2 and 2B. Malicious, spiteful. I'm not sure in regards to overbearing woman. I'm not. No, that just seems. Let's try this one. Must be maybe the old dictionaries are better in regards of it. Maybe they were more honest. I don't know, but it just seems like in the Danish, I'm getting some things that I would think was more in the. Oh, that was birch. Not. But is that the word is bitch not found in this? Oh, when we just go this way. There we go. A woman regarded as malicious, bad temper, that fits the feminist. Malicious, I think that would fit the feminist as well. Or aggressive, absolutely fits the feminist. A term of contempt, so I think that's the idea, malicious, let's see here if we can look that up, maybe, copy, and see this, by deep ill will, deliberate, harmful, and they're harmful, they're violent as well, these women. Poisonous, venomous, vicious, yeah, absolutely. Spiteful, poisonous, venomous, vicious, vindictive. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, So it's bitches, pretty much. It's very sad. It's very sad how they could ever, how the government in Denmark could ever accept murder on children, on the weakest that have no voice. It's utterly cruel and diabolical, and no one is standing up against it, it seems. Not as, the last election, not a single person stood up and talked against it, as far as I know. An appropriate name for a woman, especially a lewd woman. Why is it in regards of a poop? I don't know why it would be, especially a lewd woman, and of course a lewd woman would also, I guess, be someone that, have sex outside of marriage, I guess, in that sense of time. And of course it wouldn't, still in our days, sex out of marriage is whoring. Yeah, here we go. Lustful, libidinous, licentious, profligate, dissolute, sensual, unchaste. Unchaste, absolutely. Impure, lascivious, larirus, raucous, debauch, yeah, lewdly. Yeah, I think it pretty much fits the feminist in regards of, wanting to have. That was the idea of the the feminists, that they wanted to have sex outside marriage. They want to, just to have sex with, and if they got married, or if they got pregnant with a child, they had to have the, they have to have the ability to murder their own child because of their own, their own sin, transgression. So instead of actually, well, we'll just kill the child, Oh, what other. And yeah, it's only getting worse in our days, women spreading legs to the left and the right and all that. I think it would be very, very hard to actually find a virgin in our days that you could marry. And is that important? Yeah, it is actually important. It's much more important for a woman to be a virgin than a man to be a virgin. And but yeah, well, because we are not the same. Women and men are not the same, and there is, as far as I know, there's sadly, the more men the woman has been with, the bigger the chance that the marriage will break apart. Which pretty much I think makes sense. It's not really in regards to the man. The man doesn't seem to have that problem in regards to. But of course, having sex outside marriage is still considered whoring. So, but we're not the same. The thing is, when people are saying that women and men are the same and all that, that's utterly bullshit. Absolute. I don't have breasts. Well, I have. But I don't have. I can't give milk. Okay, and I can't. I'm not a, just the insanity of making man and woman the same is just outrageous. And now it's so much confusion. So now we're making men into women and women into men. What utterly filthy society we are living in. And if anyone says anything about it, oh, now it's hate speech, right? Oh, yeah. And then you get censored and, your channel gets closed down and all that. If you are not approving of what is it called? What's the big word for transvestite? If you are not for transvestite to teach your children, you are in regards of hate speech, and you are, give me a break. Why would I ever let my children be taught by transvestite? It's not really the way I want my children to go, Absolutely, yeah. This is just disgusting. If people that promotes this bullshit is utterly outrageous. This is that they can't even see how far out that they are, how utterly disgusting they are. And then, of course, in our times, well, I'm the one speaking hate, Apparently, yeah, it's just incredible. The sensibility, the what do you call it? The reasoning becomes, apparently, the truth becomes the enemy. Reasoning becomes the enemy. So God becomes the enemy. And we have these things ongoing. And of course, if the women have left the boat, which they have in regards to the home, well, who is going to nourish, they are the ones that have to have focus in regards of nourishment so they can have a healthy body, so they can produce healthy children, and that they also can support their husband so he is healthy, so he can defend against all the satanic bullshit that is out there. And when you destroy or, remove the woman from the home and she begins to work and begins to become stressed out, take an education and career and all that, it just messes everything up. And before she sees herself around, she's 40, finished and fat, and no man wants her anymore. But I'm the enemy apparently, right? I'm the one that, because these women are just, just incredible. Just think about it. Of course, it's not logical at all because women don't have much logic. But, they don't want the patriarchy, They don't want the man to lead the family. Okay, so you think it's much better to have a hormonal disturbed woman to lead the family? You really think that is better, You have to give me a break, The reasoning in these women are just flown out the window. It's no more. And no one is standing up against it because then all these women and other feminists, coming and supporting them, and of course a lot of men don't dare to say anything because then there's closed water or whatever you want to call it. What other it's just anyway. Yeah. But listening to these Amish women, it's just whole other level of women. These feminists are against womanhood, and when you see these Christian women that haven't lived in the world and haven't been tainted by satanic feminism, there's a whole nother. When they speak, it's like it's just a whole nother level. It's something that totally you feel like as a man, you would feel like, how would I be able to become a better man for that woman? You want to become a better man. When you're listening to these feminists, it's just there's nothing to. It's the exact opposite. You don't feel like there's no, you don't have the sense of feeling that that you want to become a better man because this is she's doing the feminists are doing the exact opposite, and thereby they don't get the same reaction from the men. So it's all getting ruined on so many levels. It's very sad. It's profitable for both the man and the woman if the man actually wants to be a better man. It's not profitable for the woman if the man doesn't, if she just tears him down, and when she tears him down, absolutely he does not have the sense of wanting to become a better man. It's going in the other direction. I mean, he might ending in drinking, going to the, and of course he gets the blame for everything. That's the way our society is. It's never the women's fault. It's always the men's fault. That's the thing. It's always our fault. It's and I in a sense I would agree. I think we should never have given the vote to women. So I think we should actually take I think we should actually take take the vote from women again. I think that would be a pretty good, sensible choice to do, and get the women back to the home and get a lot of children and nourish themselves, and so we can stand against this. We would need some schools teaching the women about good nourishment. And we would need to have good products. And in our days, they're ruining our products to the left and the right and on so many levels and all that. But so that's what I think. So let's just take the vote from the women again. And let's stop the murder that these rebellious feminists has, pushed forward in regards of, I have no idea who actually did all the, accepted these things. It's incredible that anyone could ever allow this in a country like Denmark that says it's Christian. Now, of course, in regards of being Christian, that's going downhill really, really quickly. And we have so many issues and no one is wanting to stand for the truth. We have a calendar that is bullshit. We have festivals that are bullshit. It's all pagan bullshit. We have the weekly days have been moved. It's bullshit. Sunday is the first day of the week, not the last day. It was changed in 1973. Christmas, pagan bullshit. Easter, pagan bullshit. Halloween, pagan bullshit. In regards of lying, in regards of the, was like 1st of March or something like that, pagan bullshit. We're told not to lie. It doesn't make, just because you think it's, let's just make a day for everybody to be allowed to lie. Like we're not lying enough already. 30, I think it was 30, we're closing down. 30 times, let's take the other camera, when the standard camera have this bullshit close down automatical thing and all that. I think the science article said that we lie like 13 times a week so some of course lie more and some lie less and all that, but the what do you call it in English, the thing was 13 times, I think it was, a week. So do we need a day for lying? Absolutely not. We're already doing that really much, and lying is not good. It shouldn't be done. It's a sin. It's transgression of God's law. So we have this pagan, bullshit of lying. We have gnomes, pagan bullshit. Easter rabbits, pagan bullshit. Tooth fairy, pagan bullshit. Satan Claus, pagan bullshit. Counting to 24, 25, pagan bullshit. Sunday, pagan bullshit. The venerated day of the sun god, Sol Invictus, and all that. Pagan bullshit. It's all pagan bullshit. And no one speaks up against it. No one seems to want to speak up. Because we don't want to speak about that. Well, I'm not going to stop speaking about that. So, hopefully we can change some things in this world. I really am sad to see how many people love the lies and deceptions that have no, what shall we say? Oh, by the way, I'm a chicken. That have no hunger for the truth. And it's just so bad in our days. And we have had 500 years to read the Bible, and this is where we are. We should be utterly ashamed. Of course, we're not. Because we don't believe in the Bible anymore, so thereby we don't believe in a God. Or if we believe in a God, we might believe in the demons, whatever variations they come at, because they are crafty deceivers and people are being led astray to the left and the right. But do we care? No, we cast our children into Satan's candy shop and just, let them figure things out themselves. Oh, that's just the most stupid idea. We as parents should lead them in the truth. I can teach my children, if I ever have one, or have more, or whatever, I can teach my child in a week more than they would learn in 10 years, in school. Yeah, just read some real Protestant history, what is really going on, the Bible in regards of who the Antichrist is, and in regards to the system, and in regards to the truth and all that. They might go to school for 10 years without ever knowing about that. They might actually go to school, 15 years without ever knowing about it. And in a week, I can teach my child these things that are important in life in regards of what is really going on in this world. And and of course, I would love to read such things as well. So it's a win-win situation for both me and, who knows, a future child, if ever, So, who knows? Maybe it will never happen and all that, but who knows? Still. But yeah, it's Oh, that's a coconut. Well, I'm making chicken. Well, actually, I should have put it in the oven a long time ago, I guess. But I forget the oven. There's so many things, and it's a mess in the kitchen. Anyway, I'm getting a little thirsty actually. But anyway, it's just this is just what you see in regards to women. Why would a man want a woman like that? Really, why would a man want a woman like that? A rebellious, murderous feminist that hate man. Don't you want a woman that loves men? This is again when you listen to these, if you see these Amish programs and listen to them, listen to how they look at men, the women, It's just the exact opposite of feminist. It's like wonderful. It's like wow, wow, I've never heard a woman talk like that, incredible, It's just how much we actually have strayed from good womanhood and the acknowledgement of man, It's like all about the women, right? And women rights here and women rights there and women right bullshit and this and that, Oh, give me a break. Have you become more happy? Oh, no, because women are always, unsatisfied, They're not, they're unsatisfied, it's incredible. And apparently women are also complaining about that. Oh, I'm always satisfied with the man I, find and this and that. And I always find a fault with him and so forward. And, it's just give me, because men are just, they, I'm not sure he's worth what I'm worth, Really? Yeah, I think you women needs to change a bit, in regards to how you look at yourself. You think it's easy going around the hormonal disturbed woman day in and day out, You think that's easy? You think you're the princess, the goddess and all that? Really? You really need to come out of that dream world that you're living in, It's incredible, Oh, well, yeah, a lot of men are just, following along because of one thing, one single thing, and that's pretty much the one and only thing that they're doing it for. Yep, yes, that's the only thing. I guess many knows what I'm talking about. And then it's just easier to go along, to get along, and then maybe I'm going to get something, right? What other bullshit, Had to be kidding me. And it seems like we have a Danish term in regards of men like that, and you just look, you look at how men are getting, weakened and sucked dry of the women, or by the women, and. And there's really not any, what shall we say, there's not any, what shall we say, you're just getting the trash all the time, it's just, anyway, it's just, yeah, so yeah, I guess, it might, in regards of men, it's always the men's fault, this and that and all that. Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think we should take the vote from the women again. I think that would be, let's fix the things, right? It's our fault. Let's take the vote from the women and fix things, right? And stop the murder, and throw out all the feminists in a cold water, I think I have an idea for that. Go out there, and have ice cold water, it's healthy as well, so it's not a bad thing. It's not like we're killing them off or something like that. Just like, just to add some scriptures of the Bible in regards of the swimming hole and all that. And I'm thinking like a bridge in the middle or something like that, and it can be used for exercise as well, when we're not using it to give the women a cold bath. Ice cold bath, with ice cubes in it, sounds like a pretty good idea. And of course, it's healthy as well, right? I think that would be a good way to try to get them to reason, If they want to commit murder, then you are a murderer, and murder is not good. So I think it would be a way to be not be too, but still get a point across in regards of that they are ice cold murderers, and ice cold murderers needs an ice cold bath, And then, of course, the idea is that they jump out, in regards of on a boat, they jump out into the ice cold water, and then they will need to go, I don't know how many meters, but, something that they need to go a distance to get up again, I don't know how many meters that would be, but anyway, and you could use it for a swimming hole as well, other times. I think that would be pretty good. I know that's maybe a little weird. No, it's actually, it's at least a lot better than to murder our children, in this society. That is utterly diabolical. And we're not, again, we're not, it's still a soft way of trying to get the women to realize this is wrong and we don't accept this in society. So I think it's a soft way of men that can show the women we do not agree with murdering the children, the weakest in society that has no voice. And if you don't want to become pregnant, you keep your legs shut, and wait for you to get married, okay? Well, anyway. So find a good husband and stay with him, and be a good wife and please your husband. I just, yeah. And you might get something back for that, Instead of just destroying your husband, What's the idea of destroying your husband? And taking all his resources and his children and all that, as they, it's incredible. This documentary about it was just so disgusting to see how they just made a totally industry out of this. And, seeing these men that have been destroyed one after another, being destroyed by women, stealing their children, stealing all their resources and all that. Because, it is stealing, It's just you take what belongs to him. So, if you don't have the consent of your husband in regards to taking his children, you shouldn't have his children, You don't need to go to a judge it's pretty clear, the husband is the head of the house, And again, would you have a hormonal disturbed woman to as the head of the house? No, I don't think so. I don't think that sounds like a good plan, of course. Anyway, I guess that's just me. I guess that's pretty much it for and women become so. The emotions just goes wild when you tell them the truth, and they get so emotional, and then they think it's okay. The feminist thinks it's okay to be violent. Well, actually, the homosexuals also think it's okay to be violent, and the transvestite and so forward. They think it's okay to be violent. Now, why would that ever be okay? Well, they think it's okay, because you do not agree to their viewpoint, and thereby that's okay then to be violent, It's bullshit, utterly nonsense. But sadly, that's how it is. So, yeah, give me a break. If we can't talk about the things, we lose everything. Was like we got in regards of Christianity, in regards to the protest, we got pretty much free. Well, I guess it's a little hard to actually, but we need to be able to speak, and if we're not able to speak because of people in regards of doing violence, something is wrong. Then something is absolutely wrong. If we can't speak, then something is wrong, and tearing down little by little. And that's, you have to wonder, but actually you don't have to wonder. You would wonder why, or some would wonder why, the feminists and the Mohammedans goes along together while they're actually totally in opposition, right? Well, actually, they're not in opposition. You see, the feminists and the Mohammedans are working for the same, same boss. That's Satan. You see, both of them, are working for the same boss, and thereby, strangely, you look at them and you would think that they would be, against each other, and yet you see them actually, not having a problem with each other mostly, and actually sometimes working together. And they do, because they're working for the same boss, and that's Satan. So they work for the same, they work for the same chief, So when you see something where you see the feminists and the Mohammedans, and you think this is strange, why wouldn't that, Well, because they're working for the same boss. It's also interesting that those that see murder on children, on the weakest in society, as a human right, finds the best arguments in regards of circumcision, in regards of male circumcision. Isn't it interesting that the same people that are for the murder of the innocent, the weakest in society, goes against, circumcision? Don't you think something seems to be kind of, strange? Now, of course, if you know the Bible, it's not really strange. You see, the Bible talks about circumcision, and of course it talks against murder, and thereby it all makes sense that, of course, those people that are for murdering, the child is, against the circumcision thing, which the Jews are commanded to do on the 8th day. So, isn't that interesting? It begins to make total sense when you begin to... The thing is they are against the Bible. It is a demonic thing. It's because they are working for Satan. They are working for the old snake, the dragon, the liar, the deceiver, the murderer, and so forward. So it begins to make small... they come up with the best arguments against circumcision. The best of the best arguments, Like they're really, really sharp arguments against circumcision. And then in regards of so-called abortion, murder on children, no, that's a human right. So it's okay to kill a whole human being, but it's just totally... You give me a break, It's just, I think they have totally lost their, what shall we say? And I've been circumcised, so I do know how it is before and after, because most of my life I wasn't circumcised. So I know how it is before and after, and I don't really think it's like a big deal overall. I don't know. It's just it's the thing that when people are making such a big issue out of it, and I'm like, don't you have any other issues that are much worse, than having a circumcision? And actually, again, there are some health benefits in regards of it as well. Now, of course, but again, it hasn't really ruined anything in regards of So it's just. So yeah, I'm like, when people are whining about that, I'm like, is that the biggest issue you have in this world? If that is the biggest issue you have in this world, that you have been circumcised, you really are what shall we say, blessed. If that is the worst issue you have, the complaining and all, give me a break. Anyway. whatever. Get a real problem, And if you don't like, in regards to circumcision, well, if you don't want your child to be circumcised, well, you don't circumcise your child. Now, I had, what shall we say, I got 2 operations down there, and I had, what shall we say, what is it called? I'm not sure what it's called in English, but where you can't, extract it back, as far as, and so forth. Anyway, so I don't know how many actually have that problem, but it seems like there's a good amount of people actually having that problem. But in any case, of course, if you're circumcised, that's not really going to be a problem. Now I know that that people will say this and that, whatever. But yeah, I looked at it, read all sides and all that, and well, anyway, it's done and it's done, So, and there's a lot of, there's, again, when people are complaining, just get a problem, get a real problem, If that is the worst that you have, I was circumcised, give me a break, Anyway, now, of course, in regards to my circumcision, in regards of what shall we say, objectivity, it could be a lot nicer, but it's working, so no problem there. But I got some, what you say, I got some. It was, after the operation, it got a little, and that seems to have, whatever. Anyway, not a big, it's just not a big problem at all. So, yeah. But again, if you have a problem with it, just if you have children, don't let your children have be circumcised. It's that easy, But if you're going to force the Jews not to be circumcised, they are breaking the law of Moses. Because the law of Moses says that they need to circumcise their child on the 8th day. So, it's you're going to make criminals out of the Jews at that point. Yeah. So that's so if you make it illegal in a country, you at least if you make it illegal in a country, then you would make criminals out of the Jews, and thereby they would either need to do it in regards of criminal, or they would need to move. And if you don't want the Jews, of course, in your nation, I guess that's one way of doing it. But again, it's all, it's yeah. You have to think about the consequences overall. Whatever. Anyway, so let's see here. What is it called? Swelling. Oh yeah, it was swelling. After the operation, it swelled up. Which was a problem. I guess I got a little more skin underneath it. Then it's not a problem when it, but it's visually it's not as beautiful as many others when they have had a circumcision and all that. One of my, what shall we say, one of those that I know, he was circumcised as a child, and it's it's looking a lot nicer, So, but anyway, whatever. Again, it's not a big problem. But of course, it would have been nice if it was had been. But yeah. Anyway. So what do we have more? I guess it's all. I'm getting a little hungry. Well, I have been eating a little here and there and all that. I tried again to fast and then exercise. So fasting for 18, 19, 20 hours or something like that, and then doing the exercise. How is that working out? Well, I actually did get to nearly the point of, well, I think I actually pretty much did get the swimming done in, like I somewhat in the past. I should be able to do this and this in an hour, and I seem to actually did that today. It was not easy, but and again, I had problems with my back, and usually I never had problems with my back swimming. So when I hurt my back in regards of being smashed into a wall, and I lost all my breath and all that, and well, it's has been a problem since that, and I couldn't even swim without having pain, so that's really really bad, because usually that's where I usually don't have any problems in regards of the back. So now even swimming gets me issues with the back. So that's not good. I'm really not sure. It's just going downhill, everything. But anyway, hopefully I can, hopefully I can get in the right direction. So at the moment, I'm trying to get the swimming done. Hopefully I can do it like 3 times a week. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and do that, and get that exercise up, and then when the weather gets a little better, do some roller skating and see if I can train the back up again. That would be very nice. And I'm not sure if I can, but hopefully. I also still need some changes in regards to the food, so helping the problem is, after I broke my knuckle, I began to have issues in my other joints, so that was bad. So that's not, of course, helping, if I've fixed my back as well and hurt my back, and it's, well, I always had, I've had problems with my back, but and not in this way, after I, so it's absolutely worse. Well, anyway, I'm going to die anyway at some point. What a life to live, What a painful life of pain and itching, and yeah, it's just incredible. Anyway, it could be worse, It could be a lot worse, But anyway, so I shouldn't really complain, And of course, it led me to look for the truth. So who knows, if I didn't have these issues that I have, I might never have looked for the truth. So I'm actually blessed, to actually figure out a lot of things, asking the questions, and looking for the truth. But it would be nice if I could actually, get to a point where my back don't give me pain anymore, because if I'm not going to fix it, it's only going to get worse. And I don't want it to get worse, that's for sure, because it's already pretty bad. After I began, swimming after the accident, and I couldn't even, I was afraid of actually swimming. I felt, in regards of my back, I felt this felt wrong, and I was afraid that it would actually, that something would snap or something. That didn't feel right. So I couldn't even swim what I usually did swim, because I ended up stopping. But anyway, now I am at a point where I'm swimming what I did before. Still a lot, a lot slower still, but I guess I'm getting there if I keep it up, and then get started with some other exercise again. Rollerblades would be a very very good thing for my back. I think roller skating is probably some of the best exercise for the back that I've done in the past. maybe hula hop. The ring. It's also maybe pretty good for the back. To for the core and all that. But roller skating really seemed to really be the thing that really enforced the back. So, of course, I was so stupid to stop my exercise. I was at a pretty good level. I still had a lot, I still had all the other issues, but at least I was in pretty good shape besides the issues. So, yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it. I guess I'm done for now. Um, just looking forward to eating some chicken. I'm trying to test something as well in regards of some regards of it seems like I still have some issues in regards to the breast when and I think it might be in regards to the oil that I ate last time with the chicken and last time again because I'm thinking this is weird. Why is the chicken doing this? It's not something I'm usually. It's not something that I get when I eat red meat. So I wondered why did I get it in regards of the chicken. If there's something in the chicken that might not be, I don't know. But I remember that actually using olive oil and in regards to the oil, it might actually, in regards of rancid, there's at least some that talks about that oil can become rancid and all that because, the in regards of the air in the bottle and all that, and it begins to start to oxidize. So and of course it's hard to know how long it has been standing there oxidizing. So and I've used olive oil to fix the chicken in regards of putting different spices in it and all that. But that's the oil that seems to be pretty good to just to fix it with. So this time I've not used olive oil and just fixed it in and pretty plain with some salt. And let's see if I get any. Oh yeah, by the way, I haven't taken my diflucan. I should actually take my diflucan. Yeah. So I'm still on this fungus thing in regards of trying to kill off the fungi in my body. And I'm still not sure if it will totally take it out. I'm still hoping. At the moment, I don't really have, my arms are actually pretty silent at the moment. So mostly I can feel my back in regards of my back problems. That's the thing, when something becomes lessened in regards of pain or whatever, you usually get to another problem. So that's never pretty much. It's seldom that you actually have a moment of without anything going on. But anyway, when I had the itching all over my body, when the explosion from my breast out throughout my body, some time ago, it overruled a lot of the other symptoms I had. So I didn't notice those symptoms because the other thing in regards of itching all over my body pretty much took what should we say? So yeah. So but anyway, my arms doesn't feel that bad at the moment, which is nice. It's always nice. So hopefully it will continue in that direction. I still have 2 packages, so after I've taken this dose of diflucan, I have 2 packages left of diflucan. I still have a good amount of berberine as well, and some grapefruit extract, and some liver support and all that. So I still have to continue, and I still have geranium oil, which is also antifungal and all that, which I drinking water. And that's, the three main things I'm taking that should be pretty powerful antifungals are diflucan, berberine, and they work together. So even if the fungi has become resistant to either berberine or diflucan, when you take both of them, they work against the fungi. I don't know how fast they actually work, if it still slows down, but it's the fungi, as I understand it, should not be able to actually become resistant to that, because the diflucan works in one level and the berberine works in another level, and thereby they kill it. The diflucan stops the production of the thing that I usually forget what it's called, ergosterol. So the fungi makes ergosterol. The only thing that the fungi has to defend against the berberine is to produce ergosterol, more ergosterol. So even if the fungi has become resistant to the diflucan still works in regards to stopping the fungi in regards to producing ergosterol. I don't know why and what the thing and all that, but in regards to the research papers that I've read and all that. So when the diflucan, even if it doesn't work in regards of killing the fungi, it still stops the production of ergosterol. And the only defense that the fungi has against the berberine is to make more ergosterol. So you see, thereby the diflucan stops the production of the fungi to produce ergosterol, and thereby the berberine kills the fungi. But again, I don't know how quick it works compared to, compared to when it was not resistant to the fungi. Now, of course, if it hasn't become resistant to the resistant to, what is this? I don't know how fast it works compared to when the fungi is not resistant. I think maybe I got it right actually. But anyway, but it should work in any case. So I'm taking both, and been taking both. From the beginning of the diflucan, I actually already started on the berberine, and then I began to take the diflucan afterwards. And then, of course, there is the geranium oil that is also said to be a powerful antifungal killer. But it's a little different in regards of killing it. As I understand it, it's like, when you have something that doesn't have salt, for example, and you have something that has salt, and you have this, where things seeps into the other over time or something like that. I can't remember what they call it. The research paper talked about. So if the fungi doesn't have this I think it's actually the gerani oil that is in the geranium. The thing is, if it's outside the fungi, it begins to seep into the fungi, as I understand it, a little by little, and thereby begins to kill it off. So that's it's another way of killing the fungi. And I guess the fungi can probably, I don't know, but wouldn't be a surprise if it can become resistant to that as well over time. So again, using multiple remedies, to try to take it out. Yeah. I guess I should focus a little more on that actually. And still need to look into some of the other natural things that is said to be powerful to take and all that. I don't want to relapse in the bad direction. I'm pretty much on my own in regard. Of course, besides the internet, there's a lot of help on the internet, but there's a lot of liars as well. Sellers that just want to sell things, and there's a lot of bullshit out there as well. And this is something I've had for 19 or 20 years. So it's. The white coat butchers couldn't do any, they misdiagnosed and just thought I was Crazy Daisy and all that. And after the explosion, I was absolutely sure that I was not crazy, But sadly, I did this stupid thing of going down to the bakery and buying food for 5 days. Very stupid. I should have known better because fungi love sugar. Love sugar. Anyway, the diet, of course, I'm keeping it very low in sugar. Now it's not a it's not a total fix. Although some say that you can actually starve the fungi if you keep it up for half a year. I don't know if that is possible, but I could try eating meat for half a year, without anything else. But I'm not sure if. But at the moment, I'm just keeping it very, very low. The coconut milk is 0.4 grams of sugar, and I guess that might actually still be. But that's per 100 milliliters, so that's 1.6 grams of sugar per can. And that might sound very little, but actually, just the slightest thing can actually, disturb things. It's very sad. Yeah. But yeah, keeping it very low in sugar at least. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over this. So again, people having like in regards to circumcision and all that, get a real problem, get a real problem, That's incredible. Complaining and bitching about that, Oh, give me a break. And the sensation and give me a break. Anyway, any case, so yeah, it's moving forward, I guess, and it absolutely is better now than it was in the beginning. When I started on the diflucan, the first time I started, and then I took a break, and I don't know if I should have continued to until the symptoms was totally gone away. But again, it's a little hard to get it, get antifungals from your white coat Latin spouter. They're nearly ready to kick you out of the office, when you ask for antifungals. Which is very, what shall we say, very sad, because when you are at the point where you have itching all over your body, and you're thinking that a rope wouldn't be, a rope around your neck wouldn't be a bad thing, Not that I would do it. I would never do it because that was, So if I'm ever hanging from some place, it's mostly likely the Jesuits or something like that has killed me off. Who knows? Anyway, whatever. I would never do it. But that was, I was at the point where this was utterly, utterly, utterly terrible, and it was. So now it's not that bad. It's still there. Like I can feel it a little in my hand, for example. It's still there, but it's like like when you open a soda pop, right, and it bubbles like really, really amazing. Where it bubbles. That was like that was the heart itch and all that. Now it's like more like less bubbles, in the end. But it's still there, but it's a lot less, and hopefully I hope we'll go in that direction. I don't know really what to still a lot of things that I can try out. I'm really, really tired of trying things out. I would really, really like to have it done. Have it fixed. Totally. Fixed, and well, hopefully one day, hopefully. Well, there's different things that I would like to try. Of course, the resources is, it's like a dark hole in some, or what, I mean, that might not be the best, but anyway, it's just like a bottomless hole that all your resources are going into, and I remember talking to one of my friends and all that, and he didn't understand how I use so much money, and I was thinking how is it that I'm actually and then I've just looked at some of the things that I just bought in regards of essential oils, and like again, I told him that in regards of these remedies and all that, but I couldn't really get things. But the thing is, a lot of these remedies are costing a lot of money. Like, for example, the little bottle of 30 milliliters of geranium oil cost, I think it was 400 kroners. That would be, what, $90 or something like that? I don't know, I'm not entirely sure. But that's just for, a little bottle of essential oil. And that's just one thing, So it really, then the diflucan, and the berberine, and, it's just everything just, gets, and then of course eating a specific way as well. It all adds up pretty quickly. So, but anyway, that's just how it is. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, moving forward, I guess, and I'm ready for the next dose of diflucan, and then I'm pretty much halfway there. And hopefully in I guess, well, how much? Yeah, that's a little less than 2 weeks then left, and hopefully after that it will be a lot better. Hopefully, it would be nice because it talks about that, after your symptoms stops, then you need to do it a week more. I think I read something in regards to that, just to totally, be sure that it's not so. Which I'm not sure that I will reach that point of. And my white coat murderer don't want to give me any more. So, and of course it's synthetic, so I'm not totally at ease with taking, synthetic drugs and all that. But I was really at a point where I was, I knew that this might work, and I was, and he just didn't want me to have it. And, they wanted to send me to a shrink, and I was to another doctor, and they wanted to send me to a shrink as well. They just want to stuff fed me with psychotropic drugs, which is just insane. Which they already, in the past, they gave me psychotropic drugs, They started out actually figuring out that it might actually be a fungus issue. And when it didn't work in regards to the creams they had, because they never told me to change my diet. They never told me to stop drinking alcohol or smoking or whatever, They never told me these things. They just, take this cream and, fix it, on the place. And when that didn't work, I tried, I think, 3 different creams or something like that. When that didn't work, and I was told, by the way, that one of the creams I should never have used at that spot, down below the belt. But anyway, yeah, it's nice to see that they know what they're doing, right? But in any case, it wasn't fixed, and thereby it began to spread. I could feel it like spreading upward in my body, and so, never getting it fixed, and yeah, you would expect that doctors actually would know something in regards of, but no, they just want to give you happy pills in regards of psychotropic drugs, because they apparently don't know so much about mycology, which is in regards of the study of fungi, and I have no idea why. I was to at least one special doctor that I can remember, and I have no idea. This was actually, by the way, a woman. I don't know why you would be sent to a woman as a man, and there's a lot of women actually. I don't know why you as a man would ever go to a woman in regards of these, where you're, that seems some, anyway, so, dropping your pants in front of, women is like, it just seems like a little, in front of yeah, it just seems it just seems this seems wrong. Anyway, of course, I didn't know better at the time. But I have no idea why they didn't try diflucan. The one cure pill for women issues down there. Why not try diflucan? Why would they not try diflucan? I have no idea. I might have actually it might have been sorted out really quickly actually in the beginning. Did they do that? Absolutely not. Change of diet, stop drinking alcohol, and stop smoking would probably also be a good idea. Of course, it is relaxing, but you could actually use the oil to get relaxed. The geranium has a relaxing effect as well, like smoking does. As I understand it, it's actually not the tobacco that gives you cancer. It's because they treat it and thereby fungus begins to grow in it and make mycotoxins, and that is the thing that ends up giving you cancer, which is just a fungal infection as far as I know. And of course, it's just not just a fungal infection; it is very serious actually, and it can kill you, and it can make your life very miserable. But of course, there's big money in this. Really, really big money. It's so don't spill the beans. It's incredible. This is a diabolical world of filthiness. And anyway, that's it for me, I guess. That's it for me. I should stop now and I should take the diflucan. It's like, yeah. In regards to swimming, in regards of a fasted state, in the beginning, when you do it, it's at least for me. It seems you can feel that that you haven't eaten. You can feel in your arms that you feel somewhat weaker, and yet when you have swimmed a good amount of tracks, it seems to begin to turn around. Now I still had a lot of difficulty in regards to the breath. I was really, but it really actually, when you get to the last bit of the, swimming 2.25 kilometers, and when you get to the point of 2.25 kilometers, and that's 90 tracks or 90, so. But when you get to that point, you're really hot in some sense. You're really you can really give it a good go. You can really give it if you take a break, you can really get a quick run in the swimming hole, and is it like 100 meters or something like that? I think it took me 18 seconds to travel 100 meters, which I'm not sure if that is good or bad or anything. Like usually I don't really use the clock and all that, but this time I wanted to see because as last time, it's in the last part it seems like I have more, that's you really can give it a good shot. Now of course you need to just relax for a couple of but after doing the complete, after the completion of the things, right, and the goal, after completing the goal, then it's more like okay, I'll take a break now here and there and all that, and then so looking at the clock and all that, it seems like I could do it in 18 seconds, which I think was probably pretty good. I'm not entirely sure, but that seems to be around 18 seconds. It seemed. From one into another, and I think it was how much is it? I can't even remember. Oh, maybe wait. It's not 100 meters. It's like, let's see here. We have 30 tracks, and 30 tracks are 255. Okay, so that must be okay. So 10 tracks are 25 meters. Okay, so that's 25 meters. So 25 meters in 18 seconds. Uh, so that's a little over a meter per second. So anyway, so yeah, that's yeah. In regards of all the calculations, I'm really bad at these. This, but anyway, I usually take 10. 10 of one thing, and then 10 another thing, and then a 10 of you have the crawl, you have the breast, and then you have the back crawl, and then you do it all over. So that's the first 30 tracks, and then you do it over 3 times pretty much. And sometimes I also try one 25 meters of butterfly. I'm still, butterfly, well, whatever. I'm trying to learn a little how that works out and all that. But I really didn't do that today. I only did it at the end. I took one track. But anyway, in regards of quickness and all that, you seem to really actually, you begin to become pretty energized at the last bit in some sense, which is, I guess, interesting. In the beginning, when you begin to swim, you can feel that you kind of, it's not a total craving of food, but you do feel it, and you also feel that the brain is, you're a little outside yourself when you're fasting and all that, but it seems to. But what? And why would I do that? Well, as I understand it, some people say that the growth hormones, spike when you fast 18 hours. And I have this guy on the internet that says, that he trained in regards of 18 to 24, 21 hours. But I must say, in the beginning, when you just start out, I was, I did it, 2 days ago. And I must say, in the beginning, I was like, I don't think I'm going to complete these 2 kilometers and 25 meters. But then it actually began to turn around, and you get to a point where it begins to, I felt weak, and I felt weak in the muscles of the arms and all that in the beginning. But when you get, I don't know, there must be something going on in the body that where it's changing, so it gives you the, well, whatever. But it actually seems to be, I don't know, in regards to the growth hormones. I guess it's something in regards of building muscles when you train at that. I'm not sure if it then would, they talk about that it promotes the, the building of muscles. I'm not entirely sure. But then you can make your own growth hormone if you fast for 18 to, or more, 18 to 21 hours or more. But anyway, so what I've done these last couple of days where I know I'm going out swimming is to fast. Of course, I won't be fasting in regards of, or will that be? No, I will not be able to do that on Sundays, on the first day of the week, because that's swimming in the morning. I don't want to fast on the Sabbath because that's that's a joyous time, right? That's a time where you want to enjoy yourself, and so that's not a time where you would like that you would do fasting, at least. Well, I don't know. It's not a big, it's not a. It's as long as you haven't gotten food in the morning, it's not really, at least, I'm not doing so much anyway. So it doesn't seem to be so problematic overall. You just set yourself in the mind, I'm not going to eat, right? And that's how it is. And it's only like 18 to 24 hours. So yeah, so that was pretty good. So I'll continue to try it out and see how it works out. And if it helps promote in regards of, now of course fasting will should make you slimmer as well, and if it promotes some growth in regards of muscles, that wouldn't be bad either. It is, it's said to be the natural way, so you don't need to inject yourself with things, and different people do these fasting things and train and all that, and I don't know, I guess there's something to try out here and there. And of course the idea of just eating once a day is not, at least in regards of before the swimming, it's not a bad, it takes off the time for, if you can just have one meal in some sense. But at the moment I'm just doing like, I'm going to continue to eat, I'm not going to swim like on the Sabbath and all that. So but before the swim, and I know, in regards of Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to continue to try to fast. And it would actually be nice if I can get this rhythm, to swim 3 times a week, and then maybe experience the difference, in regards of eating and not eating, Of course, it's still a little, on what shall we say? Because on Sunday it's usually in the beginning of the day. I think it closes 1 o'clock or something like that, or more, or actually before 1 o'clock. So that's early in the day, whereas the other days are in the night. 6 or 7 o'clock. One day they open 6 o'clock, and another day they open 7 o'clock. In the, what would that be in English? That would be PM. I think that would be PM. So that's but whatever. Oops, there we go. So I guess I'll continue to try that out and see how it goes, how it works out, and see if I can build some. The bag is the most important thing. I really don't care much about, the main concern is pretty. Are we closing down? We're closing down. Now, I guess it's a good time to close down anyway. I was speaking so much. Oh well. Have a good one. I don't know how long.